Welcome everyone. We've got another exciting episode for the podcast today, and this is one that we recorded a couple of weeks ago with our good friend Jerome, where we have discussed the state of the nation, if you like, with Amazon, where we touch on mainly German authority VAT and talk it through with you so to give you a greater understanding. This isn't a usual podcast. This is just a chat through, just some ramblings that Jerome and I were talking through we thought would be really useful for you guys. Hope you enjoy it. Please remember to leave a review and to let us know what you think. You can always catch us on social media, and be sure to check out expandtotheeu.com. That's it from me. Enjoy the episode and we'll speak soon. Yeah, so German VAT. We've had quite a lot of customers that are, been suspended or, been put on hold. What's your experience at the moment?
So in general on VAT, the amount of information people have is really low. Even inside Amazon, I've had people who talk to different. They don't have how VAT works or what's the link between having an FBA warehouse, PEN-EU, EFN, all of this, and the link to how much you need a VAT, when do you need a VAT account, when does it make sense or doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I was surprised because it's not rocket science in a sense, no. But it's the amount of knowledge shared upon Amazon, but also customers, is incredible. And we've had this example where we've worked together with a customer sending his FBA stock in the UK without having a VAT number. And even the transporter said once the goods were arrived in the UK, so what's your URI number and what's your VAT number? I said, well, I don't have. What are you talking about? Yeah. And he said, oh, well, I can't clear customs, so demurrage fees and so on. So and then you say, and then it's business people who know about business and that if you're selling as a seller on the marketplace, then you need to get into those details. And a lot of people don't know about that, and the cost implication, and all of a sudden they say, "Oh my God, I have to pay that, but I haven't sold anything." They say, "Yeah, it's part of the investment of going into it." Yeah. So, but that's also part of sometimes the discussions of people when in the business model they want to open as a seller or as a vendor. So, okay, if you're a seller, you need to get into those details of opening a VAT number. If you're a vendor, you're selling B2B, so you don't have to have a VAT number. I've seen actually some companies grow and offer their seller account to people. Say, okay, if you're not a brand, if you don't want to become a vendor, and you don't want to have the hassle of having a VAT number, then you could go through us, and we'll do all this VAT stuff for you, and we'll charge. The thing is, the idea of having selling on Amazon is have control of what's happening on your own sale. So if you go through someone else, it's sort of counterintuitive or something like that. So when I talk to people, I say it's always best today to own your distribution in the sense of own what's going on. Yeah. So sure, if you have a service provider who does it for you and does everything you ask, it's okay. But sometimes you can't cut corners too much, and if people want to save too much money by selling on Amazon, it's already very cheap. But if you want to go even cheaper, for me it's better to try to work on increasing the value of your product and increasing your profit, so to speak, to be able to invest in such things.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see that the people that invest in, the VAT, yes, because you have to set it up, you have to register, you have to do all of that. The people that actually just invest and put the money up and start making it happen are the ones that succeed. The ones that say, oh, I don't know, it's too expensive, I'm not too sure, are the ones that are unsure on what they're going to do, and therefore they never succeed because they didn't believe they were ever going to do it in the first place. So that's sort of, we definitely see that. The ones that don't invest are the ones that don't last. So that's the...
And it's Amazon is a kind of thing that's either you're all in or you're not. Because if it's only listing your product, it's I had the same discussion with going into China. You could list your products on Baidu, whatever. Thing is, if you don't spend $500,000 or $1 million a year in advertising, nothing will happen because just having your products online doesn't mean if you're Coca-Cola or Apple, could be because your brand name is so big.
Yeah.
But for anybody else, if you're not advertising, if you're not pushing, if you don't have the right setup, if you don't have whatever it takes to be on, you might as well not really do the thing if you're not doing it properly.
Yeah, quite right. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, the biggest question at the moment is around the German VAT. People are being suspended. They're having to register for VAT in Germany to get the tax ID and certificate. That's a big issue for a lot of sellers at the moment. It's really difficult because technically they do not need to be VAT registered in Germany. Like they don't. They're fulfilling goods from the UK. They're underneath the threshold, so they do not need a VAT number. But what Amazon wants is the tax ID and certificate. Like, that's what they want. And the only way of getting the tax ID and certificate is by being VAT registered. So we're in this whole sort of quandary where they don't need to do it, but actually the only way of getting what is required is to go through those steps. So it becomes very difficult for people to work out what to do. And
that's probably the bridge with Brexit is probably the right way of starting a business in Europe is to start with Germany and set up your VAT number in Germany and get your business started that way. And the second thing is probably you will need to also have a VAT number in the UK and because anyways those two markets are the biggest Amazon markets by far in Europe.
Yeah.
So you could consider if you have a expectation of doing at least 100,000 in each country, that you will eventually need those VAT numbers in both countries. So yeah, it has a cost implication, but it seems that Europe is a complicated market, and in these days, it's probably in this time probably a good idea to have both countries. Anyway, I tend to for my customers say, okay, if you do anything, start rather with Germany first, and then the second step in the UK, and then see what that happens. Now, if Amazon, the thing is, Amazon could ask something and in 6 months ask something else. So if they're asking for it and you can't provide, and it's probably a problem when people are doing only 5,000 a year or 10,000 a year, because then you say, just for 10,000, does it make sense to invest in getting a VAT number and doing the reporting, because it's expensive.
Yeah. So
that's where you have to make a call. Say, okay, do I invest in that market, or do I get out of Germany and stop selling there?
Yeah. I mean, that's and at the moment, to be VAT registered in Germany, the German tax authority is saying it could take up to 6 months. So they're saying that it could take up to 6 months to be registered, and the cost of accounting in Germany is more expensive because there's more returns to do. So you have to do a monthly return rather than a quarterly return. So actually, there's a lot more involved in the German. And so, I mean, originally, we sort of have gone down the route of registering the UK first. It's the most affordable way of doing it. You can fulfill your goods to the other countries, no problem whatsoever. And for all of our clients who are American, actually, you come straight into the UK. It's an English market. You can get your listings up. You haven't got to worry about translations. You haven't got to worry about lots of monthly returns. So it sort of works. But obviously, with the impending Brexit, that's either here, not here, deal or no deal, we'll find out very soon. Actually splitting your risk, if you like, is actually a good thing. One thing we have suggested to a couple of clients actually is, if from a Brexit point of view, actually the quickest way of being registered in Europe and the most cost-effective way is through Italy at the moment, because it's the quickest way of getting registered. It's the probably most cost-effective. You could have your products in Italy and still ship them to the rest of Europe. Whilst it's not the biggest market, it would be a stopgap should we have a hard Brexit and people need to be registered quickly. Because the German tax authorities are saying 6 months, which is ludicrous. Whether that happens or not, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, it's strange because did they give any supporting information on why it would become 6 months?
Well, originally, obviously we've done quite a lot of them. Originally it was always 4 to 6 weeks. So it's always been 4 to 6 weeks to get a German VAT registration. However, because of Amazon, mainly we believe, and we don't know that for definite, is that because Amazon have said you need the tax ID and certificate, the number of people that are registering is significantly higher than it ever has been. So therefore, the team that deals with it just physically can't deal with it at the moment. So they've had to extend their lead time to make it happen.
Yeah, then it has an impact. It's probably a temporary thing, and then it will. Totally. It's probably only something which will last a certain amount of time, and then we'll go back to normal.
Agreed.
Totally. It's very difficult to say. Then perhaps an item, because I know a couple of sellers in Germany which can lend your account, or you can have access to your account, and it's not that expensive to do. So it could be a good way to get started if you want to go quicker. The thing is that if you still want to sell into Germany, you will still have the same issue of if Amazon asks for a tax ID for whatever you're selling into Germany, you're back to the same issue. So the thing is, Germany is much larger than even Italy, Spain, and France together. So
that's the problem.
It's not like something you could say, okay, I can do without Germany. No. Then you have to factor that into your calculation and probably get started with UK if it goes quicker, and then you will have to look into and apply as soon as possible to get your documents for Germany, and then at least your 6 months starts now rather than in 6 months and then you're 12 months away. So it's probably something where you have to look into it, and have a discussion with my clients is about the cost of your goods. Sometimes people are really focused on the price, the unit price. Okay, if I increase, it's really impossible to sell. Actually, not really, because on Amazon, if you do a good job and your ranking is good and your reviews is good and everything, you can sell even if you're a bit higher in price. So the idea is to say, okay, if I need to invest in this and that to be able to sell, then I'll factor it into my price. It's not the idea of, I'm going to earn a lot of money, but it's just saying, okay, there are new costs. I mean, Brexit in any way will, whatever way it happened, it will have, and it already has had an impact in terms of inflation. Prices will go up anyway, because just the cost of doing business, cost of living, cost of everything will go up.
Yep.
The cost of products, because customs will have increased because this and that. So brands will have to put that into their pricing, and I don't think that, and the right way of doing business is not always to decrease your price. It's to really try to maximize the value for your company to be able to invest. And that's something where if it has to be done, it has to be done. There's no way around it.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, I'm going to leave you to it. Thank you very much. You have an amazing day.
Yes, thank you, Andy.
You take care of yourself. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
E-commerce expansion myths blasted. Successful cross-border expansion help. Listen to the show to hear how one UK company is helping e-commerce sellers successfully expand into Europe and double their profits. Hosted by Andy Hooper of Global E-Commerce Experts.